So excited.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to MangaPod. I'm Erin.
I'm Dodger.
I'm Moika.
And Lou is
And
not
I'm
here.
Lou.
Is not here, but we still love him anyway.
Where did that beautiful voice come from?
I love that we do that literally every single week. And each time we're always like, oh, where did it come from? Where is it? Oh, bye. Okay. 1 second.
Hey, good shirt.
Thank you.
It's be cute.
Thank you. It's one of my favorites. Ooh. It's one of my favorites. If you've never joined us for MangaPod before, what we like to do is, we're a weekly podcast in which we all get together after we read all or part of a manga, and then we discuss it with friendship, love, and lots of spoilers. If you've never joined us for MangaPod before, what we like to do is give you our spoiler-free What?
It's the overlay says we're in spoiler section, but we're not yet.
Oh. There we go.
Great. Anyway, continue.
If you've never joined us for MangaPod before, what we like to do is give you our spoiler-free recommendations as well as spoiler-free description, aka summary. This week we are talking number 6, chapters 1 through 15. Yeah, that's what we're doing. Yeah. I talked really fast, and now I feel like I ran 12 miles.
Now you're lightheaded,
and I'm done. I'm all done.
I can take over if you want. Okay, great. So what we like to do first is give you a short summary.
No, I already said that.
Who would like to do the summary?
I can do it.
If you would like.
I already.
You ran a mile. Are you sure?
No, I ran 12 miles.
Oh, I'm sorry. You ran 12 miles.
Our
Way
bad.
more reason to
Come on.
Else's summary.
It's okay. I got it.
Okay.
No 6. The story is set in number 6, a future model city in 2013. Raised as a top-ranking elite since the age of 2, a boy named Shion lives in an exclusive area in number 6. On the night of his 12th birthday, he rescues a boy who calls himself Nezumi. Rat. Nezumi ran away from the city's special security area. From that moment on, Shion's life has changed forever. Boom.
Yay.
Boom, boom. Really quick, before we get into that, I forgot to mention this before. We do have Spotify, just so you guys know, and it got updated this week as well as like iTunes and stuff. So if you like listening to audio podcasts, we're updating there every week. Stuff goes up on Tuesday, and we're gonna be adding like classic pod like episodes and stuff too, like for Attack on Titans and stuff like that eventually. So if you want to go and check us out over there. And before we get to spoilers section, we ask that nobody post any spoilers in the chat. Once we get to spoiler section, nothing past what we read, aka chapter 15. Once we get there, if you do not want to be spoiled, sounds like something you're interested in, you can go ahead and take your leave and come back and watch or listen to this. So let's go ahead and do spoiler-free recommendations. What would you guys say to our friends?
So I'm the only one out of this group that hasn't seen the anime.
Mm-hmm.
I just found that out. But I had read the first couple of volumes of the manga before, so this was a reread. And I would definitely recommend it. I think that it's really interesting. I think that the pacing is really good, and I really love the characters. And it flies by. They do a very good job of including a lot of information about what's going on without it bogging down the story at all. There are never moments where I'm reading it and going, "Oh my god, I get it." Move on. That I never feel that way. I've felt very invested the entire time, even reading it a second time. So yeah, I definitely recommend it. I think it's great.
Moika?
I saw the anime, and then I was like, I love this. I love these characters. So then I read the light novel, which is not officially translated. Somebody was kind enough to be like, I'm going to take one for the team, fan translate this for everyone. Because it's
Amazing.
I
at
love
this
those
point
people.
never coming out officially.
Love those
And
people.
so my recommendation is, if you've never seen it or read the light novel, or it's not a light novel, it's just a full-on novel. If you've never read any adaptation of it, you go read the manga. It's really good at giving you a taste of what the characters are like, and then just expanding some of their inner thoughts, which I think the anime kind of skipped on. So, and then you can go watch the anime, and then if you're still digging it and you're like, dang, I want more of these characters, even though you're gonna like, it's basically the same story, then you can go read the novel. That's my recommendation.
How would you scale it? Like, what's your favorite? Like,
My
anime,
favorite?
manga, novel. What's your favorite one out of the three?
My favorite novel,
Damn.
Oh.
anime,
Damn.
and then the manga.
Damn.
Oh.
Okay, interesting.
That's interesting. Yeah, I am the same with you guys. I really enjoy this manga. I really enjoyed the anime too. I love the characters. It's so character driven in a really good way, and the world building is really interesting too. It's not overcomplicated. While still being interesting and making sense and very consistent too with the rules that are happening both on the outside the wall and within number 6 itself. And so I think if you like world building and character driven stories, this is one that you should definitely go and check out. And it's sci-fi too. That's something you're interested in. If you're looking for a really great sci-fi manga, this is one that goes really quick and easily and get invested in very quickly. So I recommend it as well.
Word up.
So cool. That wraps
Recommendations all across the board.
Yeah.
Me too. I love it. And Lou loves it.
So
So-
good.
Oh man, Lou, thanks.
Thanks, Lou.
Somebody in chat said that Lou's picture is Lou dashing out of the camera.
So like, oh no,
It's like,
I'm
God,
not here.
Shion isn't Lou. Lou is rat racing out of the picture.
Mhm.
Cool. So we're going to jump into spoiler section now. Again, if you do not want to be spoiled for this manga, this is the time to take your leave. Come back and watch it on YouTube or listen to it on audio streams. And nobody posts any spoilers in chat past chapters 15, which is not the end of the anime. So we haven't read up to where the anime ends. So just so you guys know, you're aware of that. Okay.
Cool. Shall we count down?
Yeah.
Yeah.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The
No.
rats are gone.
The rats. I
Yeah,
was
the
gonna be
rats.
like,
not
no,
rat, not rat,
Oh,
but the rats.
Not rat, yeah.
No, rap. Rap is gone.
Yes.
Rap is gone. I know that not everybody who is listening to this right now is also watching it, but just FYI, the fact that this manga is named number 6 is confusing the shit out of people. They're like, I don't get it. What's the name
Yeah.
of the manga though? Number 6 of what? Of what manga?
Oh,
number
I
6.
did not even see.
Multiple people like, wait, what? What is this?
Oh boy, I'm sorry. I didn't even think about that. That's funny.
It's not your fault. It's literally the name of the manga. There's nothing we can
Sure.
do.
I guess I don't need to take blame for this. Just carry it all. I carry the weight.
Indeed.
Volume number 6. That's funny. I mean, we already kind of said, because usually the question we like to start with is, what were you expecting going into the reading? But this is kind of a funky one. Oh, go.
I have an answer for this.
Oh, okay. Go ahead.
So literally in classic style, because of the people I know, literally all I knew about this manga was that the two main dudes are like in love.
Yeah.
Literally all that I knew about it. So I went in, I
That's
did
about
not
right.
expect like a heavy sci-fi story. I didn't expect like political intrigue. I didn't like a virus and a utopia that isn't a utopia. Like all of this shit totally blindsided me. So I was pleasantly surprised. Like the relationship between them felt very natural and is not like it is the focus, but at the same time there were never moments when reading this where I was like, okay, there's way more serious stuff going on right now than whether or not this dude wants to smooch you, right? Like that never was a thing. I was very surprised with how the story happened, like the way that it's unfolding, I suppose. So yeah.
Yeah, it was the same because when the series was airing right after the kiss happened, I was like all over my Tumblr. It was everywhere on Tumblr. So I was like, okay, this looks like interesting. I'll go and check it out. And it was the same where I did not expect it to be so much more sci-fi. I was expecting it to be like a boys' love with some like you said, political intrigue or some sci-fi background, but that's not the case.
Yeah.
It just it's a sci-fi fantasy story where the leads are two dudes falling in love. And I think that's something that a lot of people want normalized within mediums and what people want to read and watch and all of that. And so I really liked that number 6, how they were going about it from very early on. They're not sitting there being like, oh, it's bromance, like let's high five instead of like admitting love for each other. And so there's not really that, like, because of who the characters are, there's not this weird unspoken like feelings for each other. They're both very straightforward, especially Shion. Shion's like, hey, he's like so airheaded that what he says is literally what he means. There's no like, he's not hiding what he's saying behind lies or anything like that. And so it's a very refreshing relationship growth that happens between the two.
Hi, Pupper.
Hi, Dickie. Oh, hi, Derp. Oh.
No.
I got cuddled. I got.
What were you gonna say, Moika?
Oh, I was gonna go back to the mice. Did they ever? I don't like off the top of my head remember if they ever mentioned the names of them in the manga.
They mentioned what Shion.
He named one Hamlet and one of them
another Shay. Yeah, Cookie.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I was like, which one's your favorite? Because so one of them is called Cravat, the other one's Moonlit, the dark one, and then Hamlet.
Yeah, we didn't only Hamlet and Cravat were like named as far as we got in the manga.
They're good boys. They're good boys.
It was very subtle.
Very subtle.
Yeah, because I think not too far before we stopped was the first time that Shion was like, yeah, I named them because you're not gonna do it.
Yes.
He was like, you don't need to name them. Yeah, this is we were saying this during pre-show, but this is like the quintessential Sunshine Boy and Angry Boy fall in love situation, where it's just one of them is just like, wow, like even though everything is terrible, everything's also great, and everybody else around them is like, it's not great. There's nothing great going on right now.
It's real bad. Nothing's happening good.
So
yeah, it is like a real good ship, and I love that everyone's like, Rat is so serious. He doesn't get connected to anybody. He beats people up. That's the true him. And then literally like 5 panels later, he's like, Shion, don't get in trouble. What are you doing? Don't put yourself in danger. What are you doing? There's a lot of really good little moments between them.
Yeah, I also liked that at first I thought it was going to be we've read a lot of manga where the main character is sort of characterized like, I've just been going through the motions my whole life. And that's a little bit of what Shion is, but normally that's also coupled with, and it turns out I don't have any emotions to begin with.
Yeah.
Right?
Mhm.
So I like that with Shion we get that side of it. Like, he never felt like life was perfect, but he also felt like this is just what life is, I guess, which I think the more that that's talked about. What's going on?
My sister-in-law and niece and stuff are just stopped over.
They're screeching.
They're screeching.
Are you done?
No,
Hi, Bubba.
not yet. My
live?
Dickie opened my door.
Are you live right now? What?
Who's that?
Hi,
Hold on. Are we related?
Bubba.
Do they not look exactly the same?
I don't know. I guess one has more hair.
I love
No.
you.
So
One does have more
big.
hair.
Blah.
Hi. You having fun with Reagan?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. We're gonna go watch New Lion King.
Oh.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Do you mind close? Thank you. Oh, Dickie
cute,
looks
he's
so
so
sad. I know, he's such a big boy growing. Anyway, sorry.
No, that's okay. All I was gonna say is that, like, the moment at the train station with his friend, I can't remember her name,
Asafu.
who's
Safu.
Safu, who's like in love with him. The moment with her being like, I gotta be real with you, I really just want to have sex with you, and he was like, give me a couple years. Like,
Yes.
I thought that was such a weird response. Not just because, like, he didn't feel like he could just leave it at, I don't think of you that way, like, I just think of you as a friend. And I think the more that they delved into him being like, well, I sort of was just going through the motions of what I assumed my life was going to be like, it made that scene make more sense to me, because it was like he was saying, well, I guess that would be the natural progression for my life, right? Like, I don't see her that way, but now that I know that that's what she wants, if I have a couple of years and I'm 18, then I guess that would be the natural progression, is this person that I've been with my whole life that I do feel close with, like, sure, I could have a relationship with that person, right? I think the whole situation there is really fascinating, because I don't know that she's supposed to have like a yandere vibe, but she kind of does for me when I'm reading her.
Yeah.
Because she does the whole, like, she's in love with him and willing to literally throw her entire life away for him. But at the same time recognizes that there is somebody else that he cares about more than he cares about her.
Yeah.
And it, like, really upsets her. And part of me is like, is she gonna try and kill Rat? Like, I just don't know. Like,
Yeah. There's
like,
oh, sorry.
No. Keep going. Sorry.
No, you go. I don't mean that.
I didn't really have anything to say.
Oh. I was just gonna say that I get such a weird vibe from her that I can't, like, I don't dislike her. And it's not this weird, like, oh, she's getting in between the two boys, so she didn't be there. She didn't be there. Shouldn't be there.
She didn't be there.
And so it's not like that. It's just such a weird vibe in terms of, like, what her character is. But it's not bad. Like, I don't think she's a badly written character at all. And it is nice to have a character, especially a woman, who's like, hey, straight up, this is what I want. And I just want to tell you and let you know. And I think it'd be really cool if we could bang. That's all I want. I want your sperm. That'd be great. And then she's going off. She doesn't stay around Shion to keep making sure that he falls in love with her. She goes off and does her own thing. And so that's great. It's just like, I'm just like trying to, it's the same as Yandere, where she is like real obsessed with him. But so it's just very weird.
Honestly, I think it's just supposed to be she doesn't have anybody anymore.
Mhm.
Her parents were already gone and she only had her grandma, and then her grandma died. And then she found out that her best friend and the person that she's in love with is considered a Class A criminal and has vanished. And I think
That's
for
true.
her, I think it wasn't supposed to come across as creepy as it absolutely did to us, right? I think it was supposed to be, she doesn't have anybody else. And so, like, to go after him and try to help him and be with him made sense to her in this, like, grief that she was in. But the second that we had that scene with, like, the creepy dudes on the skyscraper being like, we need a female subject, I was like, it's gonna be Safu.
Of
They're
course.
100% going to grab her.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the anime does a better job at expanding on Safu's character a bit
Yeah.
because she's just like so the kids, for those that read this and like kind of forgot, they're like the top 1% of smart people. Like they
Right.
were individually picked when they were like 2 years old, and then they go through like this higher education process essentially. And so it's
And their
just
families
more of,
get to live like a
yeah, and live
lavish
nicer.
lifestyle.
Yeah. Everything's like provided for them just because their kid's essentially really smart. But yeah, Safu is more of just she's very like scientific about everything. So for her it's like, I like this guy. I want to be with him. Baby. Okay, this is what I need. This is what we're going to do.
Right.
And so it's kind of it's like really interesting because it's Shion's like going through the motions and Safu's not exactly going so stilted about it, but but she still comes off as really awkward herself, just in a different way.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Can you guys hear the Lion King?
No.
Okay.
No.
Perfect.
Do I hear the Lion King?
I do not hear the Lion King, no.
Oh no.
Somebody in chat asked, are they actual real people or androids who just want to exchange USB ports? I didn't read the end of that. No, they are people. They're real people.
They are people.
Yeah.
Yes.
Have I ever shown you my fish hook?
No.
I don't know what that is, so no.
Is this a trap?
Okay. No. Okay, let's see if I can do it. I can't do it while I'm smiling. Okay.
Wow, that's really good.
That is very good. I'm impressed.
I practiced that for way too long. Thanks. Thank you.
I couldn't do that, yeah.
You gotta hook it.
Yeah, it would be like,
Yeah.
But like, but I moved too much of, like, yours is really good because it literally is like that. When I try to do it, it like moves this whole side of my mouth. Good skill.
Great, good. Let's talk about the science section of this whole thing, because we get bees. Bees.
I thought the bees were like a purposefully planted thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm still not sure what the bees are because I can't tell. I still can't tell if the bees are something that they don't expect but are finding the bodies of and are disposing of them and trying to figure out what's going on, or if the bees are absolutely a controlled thing by the government to kill people off. Because the people who so far in the story are dying from the bee thing are people that it would really behoove the government to get rid of, to be honest. So so I'm like, okay. And then we know that Rat was experimented on,
Mhm.
and Safu's now being experimented on, but it's not clear, at least up to where we've read, it's not clear like what it was for.
Yeah. Was it for the
Mhm.
bees or was it for something
So
else?
yeah.
And it's like, yeah, is it a population control? Population control thing? Like, are the bees mechanical or are they like real life bees? Because that's another thing with, you have Rat who has all these mice that are robots. And so it's an interesting thing of, it's been established that there are animal robots here that can do stuff.
Yeah.
Or is it all of the bees live in every single citizen in number 6? Like, do the bees, are they put
That's what
there
I'm wondering.
naturally? I hate it. I hate the bees popping out of holes. I hate it so
Yeah.
much. Like, even though it's not a ton of holes, it's just the fact that that one little hole has something come out of it. I have what was it? Trypophobia, which is like fear of holes and like irregular.
Don't look it up, chat.
Don't look it up if you think.
Don't look it up.
No, if you think
If you're like,
squeamish.
holes, what?
No,
I don't have it, and those photos still make me like want to curl up and die. Like, they're awful. So
like
just don't look
thinking of it, like my heartbeat increases, and I just like, it's so bad. And so the fact that like they would grow old and have these little holes on them, and then something's popping out of their holes in their necks, I was like, I can't. Even in the anime when that was happening, I was just like, I can't look at this. This is so grotesque. It's like the most grotesque thing to me, even though we definitely read things that
like,
are
technically
more
grosser things.
violence. Yeah. And so what did you guys think of talking about the bees, the Shion's whole thing? What happened with him? Because he's very much a special case about what happened with the bees.
Yeah. So again, I thought maybe the reason that he didn't shrivel up and die so fast is because it was happening literally as they were leaving number 6.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, if this is a thing that's like controlled by the government in number 6 and they were activating something, it might have messed up as they were leaving the border, and that gave them extra time to like cut it out, right? So that was all that I could think of, because I was like, the other people died. Not that manga is always really consistent with this, but I was like, the other people died of this so fast. Like, they just shriveled up and died, right? So the fact that it's taking a while for it to happen to Shion, and like once it was cut out, he like had, I don't know. I couldn't tell if something different was happening to him or if it was the same thing and it just got halted.
Yeah.
I guess.
I think it's, I definitely think it was one of those, it was a process happening, and then because it got cut out early, it messed with his hair. I was like, how do I put this?
It was stress on his bod.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He turned into a white hair anime boy, and suddenly I loved him more.
Yeah. Wow.
Wow.
I thought, because so much about him changed, I was like, oh, it would be really easy for him to go back in, although he would stand out, but it would be easy for him to go back into number 6 now if he needed to, because he looks so different. But I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. We also haven't really talked about Rat / Eve like at all.
Yeah.
I love him. I think that the way that he's been developed so far has been really natural. It would have been very easy for him to be like, I'm a badass and I don't care about anybody, and I'm gonna kill whoever I need to, and I'm gonna abandon whoever I need to, and have that just like completely change once he has, bubblegum Shion in his life. But it didn't. It's literally become like, I don't give a shit about anybody except you. And he's still like completely merciless with everybody else. So I appreciated that in his writing. He still comes across as like the same person.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like he's a completely different personality just because he's like talking to Shion. And he has the same, like you're saying, it seems like the same person in that he reacts to Shion. There's a bit of that harshness in him when he talks to Shion. So we definitely get that. You're like, oh, you are the same person. You're just a lot more delicate and connected to Shion than you are to other people. And we also see that in how he's constantly telling Shion, you have to fend for yourself. Like, you have to learn to fight. This is all you. Like, you can't rely on other people. And then he literally watches Shion and pops up whenever he needs to, like, protect him. He's just like, all right, I'm here. Even though, and then what I also like about that is he is constantly over, like, being very protective of Shion, but he is giving him the ideas and the knowledge about how to take care of himself. Like when Shion faced off against the Undertaker people and he got away by himself.
Oh yeah, the cleaners.
The cleaners.
Yeah.
So it's like the way that Rat is teaching him is his own specific kind of like love. And I think that's a really interesting thing, that the two are growing together. And yeah, I really, really like Rat's personality because it all makes sense with what happened in his past for him to be the way that he is and viewing the world the way that he does.
I love him. I love him with all my heart. He has those cold eyes, and then he has like that dark blue purpley hair. I just, no, it's too good. Look, he's a theater man. What else can I ask for here? I just love him. I want him to thrive. Oh my God.
Oh my gosh, I love it. Like, I like that the whole time we were talking, you were just sitting there like,
yeah, I couldn't tell if that
waiting.
was because she was like, I've literally read the novel. I know everything that happens in this, so I can't say anything. Or if it
I
was,
can't say anything, but at the same time,
I love this boy and I'm about to explode. So I guess it's
he's such a good boy, even though he's so brutal.
yeah. I want to know what happened to him.
Yeah.
No.
At the very end of what we read, or overall in his past?
Overall.
Yeah.
Overall, I want to know, like, when we first meet him, he's running away from something and, like, bursts into Shion's house.
Yes.
And then vanishes, right? So I'm like, where were you?
What happened to you?
He was in the correctional facility, but why?
Well,
And he escaped.
Yeah.
No one escapes from there.
Why? Yeah, no one escapes. The second you go in there, you vanish. Or do you?
Ooh.
Also, sorry
No,
to go back on the bees. It's really interesting to me because I think what the novels in Japanese use is hachi, which is really ambiguous and it's not distinctive of either a bee or a wasp. So depending on the translator, it could be either or. Which is why I think in the anime they call them wasps, and it's because sometimes they tend to look like bees, but the nature of them is that they're parasitic, so that's why they're wasps.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh. Yeah, I
So
was
something-
reading.
little tidbit for anybody interested.
Yeah. That's good to know because they've definitely seen more waspy, and I was like, they're doing the bees so dirty when they don't deserve that.
It's like the murder bees.
Yeah. Everyone's like making them. I like that it's like this manga's so futuristic and it's set in 2013.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it.
We've gotten to the point where so much sci-fi stuff we've like surpassed the date, like the threshold date of them occurring.
Do I need to fill more space? Cause I can.
Do it. Talk about some more rat.
Not rat, but Shion.
Yeah.
There's like, it's really weird because for him, there's like a very, I think, what is it that rat calls him? I think he calls him like an airhead, which it's really weird because he doesn't actually call him an airhead. He calls him a natural, which in English, it's like, what the fuck does that mean?
Yeah, that's a
Yeah.
compliment
And it's like,
in English.
yeah,
You're natural.
but
It comes to you easily.
Yeah.
yeah, no, in Japanese, it's like a short term. It's shortened term. So it's like, it's short for naturally stupid.
Oh my god.
So it doesn't,
Amazing.
it translates really weirdly in English.
Oh my
So
gosh.
that's why, yeah, and it's really weird because the Japanese word for it is called tenenboke, which tenen is usually
bokeh, we know.
used. Yeah, which tenen usually is used as a term of endearment. So it's just like, yeah, so it's just like, you would think it's like, oh, what a negative term of endearment, but it's just, I don't know, it's so weird because
It's
just,
kind of like if you called somebody a dummy. Like you wouldn't say dummy to somebody you actually wanted to insult. It's kind of like a softer version of being like, the fuck are you thinking?
Yeah.
You dummy.
Yeah.
You silly goose.
Yeah, which is like, it's so indicative of Shion's character because that term tends to be used for people who tend to say things at the wrong times. And so it's just, yeah, and so it tends to be used for people who are just really socially awkward, which fits Shion perfectly.
Yes.
That's
pretty funny. Oh, I like that. I like these tidbits.
I know, me too.
So it's just, I just love them so much. I want them to be happy.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to read the anime because I really like this manga.
You're gonna read the anime?
I'm gonna read the anime.
Yeah, with their eyeballs.
What are you gonna do about it, Aaron? There are subtitles for me to read, Aaron.
Something else about Rat that I was thinking about that I love that he is an actor because it makes so much sense. And so the way he slips into Eve is so natural. I love it. Especially when he's with people that are fans of him. So we have the reporter dude. What did you guys think about him and the fact that he's connected with Shion's mom?
He's another character that's like believably scummy.
Yeah.
He has value, you know. They are using him in the ways that they can, but like he's just as gross as everybody else that has learned to survive here, you know. And like the fact that they don't waste any time being like, it's pretty fucked up that he lives so nicely, huh? What's that all about? Why is he living so much better than everybody else around here? Is it because he's a pimp? Yep. Yeah.
Yep.
That's the one.
Got it.
So yeah, I liked that we got this moment to be like, oh, he knows Shion's mom and they used to be close and like he really cared about shit. But that's like the old him, and maybe he's nostalgic for that, and maybe there is still a bit of that in his actions, but they don't sugarcoat that he's like not a good person. He likes Shion and he cares about Shion because of his connection, and that's it, really. So many characters. Shion's the only one they give a fuck about, and everybody else can just go die.
Yes. We haven't talked about Dog
Keeper.
Yeah.
I love her.
Love Dog Keeper.
She was raised by dogs.
So good. And the way that she handles the business with loaning the dogs to people. I was like, that's such a like good idea. I never thought about that. And she obviously is getting in through the world in her own way. And I really enjoy the way that she interacts with Nizumi, with Rat, because they're both trying to get by in this world in total, like the same way, but at the same time, different ways, where she is using her dogs to get information from the correctional facility and clothes and all of that. And so that makes it very believable of how they are getting the information to get into the correctional facility. So I really like that they set up that connection there in a way that's very believable. It doesn't feel just, I mean, for me, it doesn't feel just like, all right.
So something about Dog Keeper is, what made you think she was a girl?
I couldn't remember in the anime if she was girl. I just didn't.
If she was girl,
a girl or a boy. I can't remember what pronouns they use.
it was never specified.
I was gonna say, it wasn't
I
specified.
wondered
Yeah, it was
that
never specified, so that's why I was just like, I'm interested.
Yeah, I wondered that in the scene where they were using Dog Keeper to act as a prostitute.
Yeah.
Because I think it was Shion who, in his mind, was like, "Oh, they're very slender," and I was like, "That's a weird thing to think to yourself in this moment." And I was wondering if that was supposed to if that was supposed to be a moment to make you sit there and go, "Wait a minute, we don't really know anything about Dog Keeper, do we?"
Yeah, I was thinking, because since I couldn't remember, I was thinking of her as they, up until that point where I was like, oh, I think that's supposed to imply that she's a girl. But I can't remember, what pronouns they use in the, because I feel like they have a moment in the anime where they straight up are like, oh, you're not the, like, gender I thought you were, or something like that. But I can't remember.
Yeah, no, so it's really, that's another interesting thing, that even in the novel, they never specify if Dog Keeper is a girl or boy. It's always like just Dog Keeper, and it's really interesting too that because this is mostly coming from Shion's point of view, you're influenced on the way that he sees Dog Keeper, which for most of the show, or most of the series and like all adaptations, he just assumes, oh, Dog Keeper's a boy. And then it isn't until that scene that we saw, like when Dog Keeper was the bait, that was when he started questioning and was just like, oh, weird, that slender, I wonder.
Yeah.
Time to move on.
Interesting.
That is interesting.
Yeah, I honestly can't remember. But the whole time, for some reason, up till that point, I guess I assumed that Dog Keeper was a girl. And then that moment made me go, wait, do we know that? Do we know anything about Dog Keeper? Fuck.
Yeah.
No, we don't.
So,
I want to, though.
It's like you feel like you do because of the interactions that she's had, Dog Keeper has had, and you're just like, oh, I feel like I know this character so much, and then something happens, and you're like, oh, I don't actually know the depths of like what all this character goes through and how they act and stuff like that.
Yeah, and that's like something I really like about the series is how they make you feel for a lot of these characters that you know them, and then there's little scenes somewhere along that it's just like, oh, I don't actually know anything about this guy or this character. What?
Right.
What?
Yeah.
I've been allowed enough time to make assumptions about them. Yeah.
Which is like really, it's such an interesting way of using like a specific character's point of view
Yeah.
because it's just like you fall for the same trap they did essentially, and it's just like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
oh, I was influenced into thinking this, but I never stopped and questioned it.
Totally. I mean,
Mhm.
even the scene, the torture scene, right? Where
Mhm.
Shion is like, "Oh, Rat isn't like that. Rat's a very kind person." And everybody keeps being like, "There he's not. Like, he's not
Yes.
a
This
good
guy's a
person,
fucking
right? He's
monster.
Yeah.
he's kind to you, which is already weird, but like that doesn't mean that he's a good person or a kind person."
Mhm.
And I liked that in that moment and with that scene, it wasn't one of those. I think a lot of times in that interaction when the cinnamon roll character is like, "No, I get them in a way no one else does. I know that deep down they're a very good person." A lot of times the reader is also going, "Yeah, they're a really good person. They just get it."
Mhm.
And I liked that in this scenario you were like, "Yeah, Shion is just rose-colored glasses with this dude right now."
Yeah.
Like,
Yes.
he is not. There's all kinds of fucked up shit going on
Mhm.
that we have had up to that point so many scenes where Shion is not there
Mhm.
and Rat behaves completely differently. And I love that.
Mhm.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah, I agree with that a lot. And like I think Shion kind of saw the truth during the torture scene with the guy from number 6. I think Shion finally got a little bit of a, oh, okay. He acts a little
Mhm.
bit different when he's doing certain things.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Should we talk about the art?
Yeah.
Yeah, we can. Actually, wait, before we move on, I think it's really interesting that we never learn certain characters' names so far, and it's always like aliases. Because
Yeah.
We still
Rat's
don't
name's
know.
not actually Rat.
Right.
Mm-mm.
Or Eve. Those are both
Yeah.
aliases. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Dog keeper.
And
we
dog
assume
keeper.
Is it actually dog
Yeah.
keeper?
Yeah. That's true.
But it's one of those things where, well, do they have actual names or do they know their actual names and stuff too? Which I think
I was wondering if, because we had the moment with Nizumi where he saw the picture and recognized the guy and said, "That's the guy who named me," and I couldn't
right.
tell. I couldn't tell if that meant that's the guy who gave me like my name that I discarded and took on the name Rat, or if that meant that's the guy who called me Rat. And I don't know
Yeah.
which it
Mhm.
is, and I'm so curious to know which it is.
Oh, I didn't think about that. Think about that connection. I completely forgot about that part.
Yeah. But yeah, if you guys do want to move on to art.
Well, do you have something else you wanted to touch on?
Me? No.
Oh, okay. Let's move. Let's art. Let's art it up. I think the art is very pretty. It's
It is.
very clean. It's not like insanely crazy, like the best art ever, but it's very solid. It's very consistent since the beginning. There's detail in the backgrounds, like the setting between number 6 and the outside the wall, like the wasteland part, are super distinct, so you're never confused about which section the part you're reading is in. And I love the character designs. I think they're very fitting for the characters and who they are. And the full panel spreads, I really, really enjoy those. I think they're really pretty.
They're so pretty.
So pretty. And even especially the certain ones where it's big character moments between Nizumi and Shion, I feel like they really drive it home with just relaying the emotions through the art. Like the kiss scene in the manga is so much better than it is in the anime. Just want to say, it's just way better. The way that they frame it and the detail that they put into it just is much more effective than the way that the anime portrays it. But I think the art is very good at portraying emotions and what people are feeling and setting that up.
Yeah.
I really like the art. It makes the bees are terrifying. Wasps.
Except the bees.
Yeah, fuck the
Not
bees.
the bees.
Not the bees.
Another tidbit on art actually, which I
Yes.
think is really cool. So if you ever like, I love these characters, I want to look up like fan art of them or just actual official art or whatever, you'll notice that their character designs change a fuck ton.
Really?
And it's because depending on what the artist read first, they go off like, so if they went with the novel, they tend to draw Shion with purple eyes because they're described as more like purpley, and then they'll draw Rat with shorter hair as well, so he doesn't have like the ponytail and longer like front hair, which I think is really interesting. And so if you see those two, then it's most likely it means that that person read the novel and is more familiar with that adaptation. And then and then I think it's like the snake is also different between like the anime and manga and the novel. I don't think the
look of it, or that it even exists.
No, yeah, the look of it. I think it's a lot smaller, or not smaller, but it wraps around Shion differently. So I thought, I always thought that was really interesting as well. So
like in a different, like it's thinner and goes in a different spot.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, because I think in the manga and anime, it like wraps around his body all the way through.
Interesting.
I remember in the anime the way that it like slithers, not slivers. It's just a bunch of wood just comes out of nowhere. It just
right.
Slithers around was very effective because I feel like they show that whole scene happening. They don't flashback to it. I'm pretty sure that they show Nezumi's point of view where everything is happening. And so I really liked having that part shown in the anime. But I also liked seeing Shion be like, what the fuck happened to me? Like, I don't know what's going on.
Right.
Casually waking up and seeing that your hair is a completely different color. Oh
my god.
I liked the cute little extra when Uzumi was thinking about how Shion goes, at least I'm not bald. And then he does the whole nuzzle into Shion's hair. Where he's like, I'm so glad you're not bald.
He like imagines him bald and is like, no, I don't like that.
Like, no. It's like a tiny little bit of affection that Uzumi gives.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm trying to think if there's anything else happened that we didn't really get to talk about. I am excited to see how they're gonna get into the correctional facility.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh man,
some, like Ocean's 11 shit.
Oh my god, they all put on suits. I'm interested in seeing, because we were talking about this, I think either during sound check or early in this podcast, of how it felt like the anime had to rush the ending, do this like standard. Oh, I don't have enough episodes to finish, and this is gonna rush really, really quick. How the novels play out differently from that. So I'm really excited to read the next, because there's, I think, 9 volumes total. And we're getting up to part of, like I said, not to the end of the anime, but there's like a big section, like we're pretty close. And so I'm very excited to read like the rest of the manga to see what is different. From it. I still recommend watching the anime. I think the anime is great. I feel like it had a really good opening too. Like I don't remember the opening, but I feel like I was like, oh yeah, never skipping it. Feeling.
That's always a good feeling to start watching an anime and be like, this is a bop. I can't wait to listen to this every episode. God damn.
Also, the ending was really, really pretty.
Mm-hmm. The song? Oh, it is! Yeah! I just remembered it. Oh, it is. Oh, and it's so sweet, too. Oh.
I'm just like, just fucking give me more of that Nezurat.
Yes.
Give me that fucking Nezurat Shion right now.
Immediately.
Yeah, I think that song was Aimer's like first anime song used as like any kind of theme.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's
And I
cool.
mean she's like blown up now. So I was just like, yeah, number 6 doing that for everyone.
Aww.
Covering that talent. Makes me cry.
Love
My
it.
boys.
Aww. Cool. Should we do final thoughts and ratings?
Sure.
Yeah.
Cool. Gosh, there wasn't anything that I like. Oh, go. You look like you have something on the tip of your tongue.
Who are you talking to?
You.
Oh no, not me.
I was gonna say it's hard for me to think of something I really disliked about it because I loved the character development between the characters. I liked how distinct the characters were. The stuff going on in number 6 is very interesting and I think consistently thought out, and so the way it's unfolding, it's a lot of mystery, and I don't feel like they're straight up saying everything, and so having the mystery part of it is very encouraging to keep on reading. I really liked the art. Like I said, I loved the relationship between the two main characters, that it's so natural and well written already, and like we're not even, I think we're, like I say, a third of the volumes into it, and I look forward to reading a ton more, and so I can't really think of anything that I dislike about it, and so I think I'm gonna give it like an 8.5, a 9.5, like I'll holla up there
Somewhere in there, yeah.
Somewhere in there.
Yeah.
Somewhere in the upper grades.
Right. Yeah, I was also gonna give it like a 9-ish. Because yeah, I think the story's super interesting. I love the characters. I think it's all written very well. And I definitely want to read more. I blasted right through it. So yeah. Yeah, I would give it a 9.
This was a 10 out of 10 for me. I love the characters so much. And I just want more of them. Oh,
Aww.
God, I just love them. Crying. No. Oh my God. Look, I love these characters. This is like, technically, this is like the 5th time revisiting this series.
Aww.
Right.
Every time, I just love them, even though I know what's gonna happen. It's just, I love them so much.
Aww. Yay! I love it.
10 out of 10 for me. I love them. Revisiting them is always a blast. My heart's always like fluttering. I'm just like, I'm amazed that this is something that came out in like 2003, because it's just so like I guess that's what really drew in a lot of people, at least on the Japanese side of things, is that their relationship's just so well written, and it isn't like the stereotypical like asshole falls in love with dumbass, and then they have this like unhealthy relationship where like the asshole character is always like pretty much abusing like the sweet naive boy, and it's like, no, they're growing together.
Yes.
Oh.
Awesome. I love it. I love that we touched on a manga that you love so much. I didn't even realize it. Yay!
We got so many good little like trivia facts from Moeka today.
know.
I love it.
Yeah, I'm just like once I'm in a series, I'm just like I gotta know more. I gotta know more.
Love it.
Also, yeah, sorry.
No, you're
Somebody
fine.
in chat was just like 2003. I thought the series was like more recent. The anime is more recent, but yeah, the novels that everything is based on. Actually, yeah, I don't think we touched on that live. Was that yeah, number 6 originally was a novel. It came out in 2003 and then it ended around 2011, and then in like 2012 they announced that they were going to do an anime adaptation and a manga adaptation.
Oh, okay.
And so
Right.
yeah. And so now we're
So
here.
there you go.
It's like people confused everywhere.
Yeah.
Number 6, volume number. What's the actual
What came out
title?
first?
Which came out first?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, do you guys have anything else you want to touch on?
I don't think so.
Cool.
No, I think we got it.
Cool. So that wraps up our discussion of number 6, volumes 1 through 3, chapters 1 through 15. We all highly recommend it, so you definitely should go and check it out if you haven't. Now I'm going to read the description for the manga that we are checking out next week, and everybody in chat gets to guess what it is. Yay!
Yay!
Tucked away in the English countryside lies the ominous manor of the Blank, a family which has established itself as the cold and ruthless Blank, as well as the head of London's criminal underground. After a tragedy leaves the Earl and his wife dead, many are shocked when their son, a young boy named Blank, claims his place as the new Earl of the Blank House. At first, many perceive him only as a child surrounded by eccentric servants, but they soon begin to realize that it is foolish to meddle with Blank and his demonic Blank. Taking place at the end of the 19th century, Blank follows these two as they face countless mysteries and dangers that plague England and threaten the Queen, uncovering the truth about what really happened to Blank's parents in the process.
I'm not ready for this manga.
Black Butler, people were like on it. They're like on it.
Immediately.
I know.
Immediately.
I've never watched the anime. Never
Me
read
neither.
the manga.
I've never read it. I've never watched it. I've avoided it like the plague.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
God. I look, I was a baby, okay? Baby's first boy love series introduction, weird.
Oh my gosh, I love it.
I remember watching it, but other than like Sebastian's the butler, Shiel's the little like master, whatever. I can't tell you anything more other than like I know the characters, but I don't fucking remember what happened at all in the anime. And I cosplayed that series so much as a kid. It was a hot mess.
amazing.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Oh, amazing.
Oh,
This is gonna be like when I made everybody read what was the weird master and servant animal shit that I made you guys read? What was that called?
Oh my gosh, it's really popular.
That was my like I read this when I was younger and now I'm reading it again and I'm like cringing my way through life and I can't remember
Oh my gosh, it's a really popular one. I can't remember it either.
That's okay. That's okay. Guys,
We'll come back to it.
We'll get back to it. Yeah. Cool. We are reading volumes 1 through 4, chapters 1 through 19 of that next week. My first yaoi was Gravitation. Yep. Same.
Technically same. Oh my god, I was a fucking terrible kid. Terrible.
Malika's just going through childhood
Gravitation
flashbacks
was
right
a
now.
classic for many of us. It's
Oh
fine.
God.
So much smooches, so many AMVs with
So many AMVs.
Some
Holy shit.
Doichi, yeah. Oh
Mhm.
no.
Okay, anyway, shut it down.
we gotta go.
We're done. No more.
All right,
Stop
let's go
this.
around and shout out our stuff really quick. I'm Erin. I'm Happily Erin. Same social media all across the everything. Check out MangaPods on my YouTube channel. Currently writing a book. If you want updates on that, I'm posting them on my Twitter as well. Super duper into Asian dramas right now. Everybody go watch Why Are You and Ship Sci-Fi's on. Okay, bye.
I'm Dodger. You can find me at Dex Bonus on pretty much everything. I stream almost every day. I tweet about how cute my kid is, and that's basically it. So if that sounds up your alley, come hang out.
Yeah. I'm at Megamoik on everything too. I stream, I cosplay. I haven't uploaded to YouTube in a while. I'll get on that maybe. We'll see. Yeah, follow me if any of that interests you as well.
Woo! Woo! Lou is Lou Talks Anime on Twitter and YouTube, I believe. Go ahead and send him some love. He'll be back sometime soon. We're so excited when he comes. He's just taking some time away. If you guys would like some more MangaPod, we have a subreddit, reddit.com/r/MangaPod. The schedule for upcoming weeks is there, as well as a recommendation thread. If there's something that you would like us to check out, go ahead and post it there. We are also streaming on audio stream sites all over. We are on iTunes and Spotify and many other places. So if you want to go check it out, it's just MangaPod. And we have a website, mangapod.car. Here, I'll just put it in the chat. mangapod.car.co. And we also have Instagram and Twitter if you want to go ahead and check us out over there. Otherwise, we will be here next week talking Black Butler chapters 1 through 19.
Oh, no. No.
Let's get into it.
Let's
Guys,
do it.
Can't wait. All right.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.